Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Wicked Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. Also, I will touch on coronavirus as well. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming token swap or token stacking. Also, you can follow me on library.tv, Twitter, as well as Patreon as well. And in my Patreon group, I publish videos about essential vitamins for preventing coronavirus, COVID-19. And this video is based on those vitamins is based on scientific journal, so it's not coming out of thin air. And I also talk about in detail how the coronavirus can enter human cells, and then they start the viral replication, all this in details, and how those vitamins can help you to prevent a coronavirus. If you're interested, you can join my Patreon group. Unfortunately, I cannot talk about that in YouTube because I can potentially get banned. And of course, there's tons and tons of censorship in YouTube, in social media. So that's why it's time to decentralize YouTube. So join library.tv. You can also earn library token just by joining library.tv as well as watching video as well. And in case you haven't installed the Brave browser, you can join the movement. Use a Brave browser. Brave browser block advertising, and also you can surfing the internet faster. If you're interested, you can click the link below. So let's talk about the Bitcoin quickly. So Bitcoin, I'm not surprised there's a dump of Bitcoin. It's because there's a whole bunch of sell-off in the traditional stock market. And basically, there's a lot of leverage in the traditional stock market. And of course, there's a margin call, right? So, and don't forget, in the traditional stock market, you can have a circuit breaker, right? So that means whenever the stock market drop below, I think 7%, there's a circuit breaker that stops any selling. And so that's why they cannot even sell their stock. And because all the trading stopped because of the circuit breaking. And because of this, they cannot liquidate their position. And of course, they have to cover their margin. So that's why they need to sell Bitcoin to cover the margin, as well as gold as well. They need to cover the margin call to sell those things off. And of course, that's why they sell Bitcoin. Bitcoin is more liquid because Bitcoin, they don't have a circuit breaker. You can sell or dump it anytime, right? Or you can, on the contrary, you can pump it anytime. To me, I'm suspecting there's a potential pump for the Bitcoin. It's because we already have so many days sell off. And another thing is because of the BTC USD long short position has been building up like crazy. There's a potential pump for the Bitcoin to liquidate this position. Once this position liquidate, they no longer need to be pumped. But right now, I suspect there will be a Bitcoin pump because of the build up of the BTC USD short position. And in terms of the long position, it has been all-time low. You see it is low. There's no reason to dump anymore. Those positions already liquidate. So I'm not surprised there will be a potential pump of Bitcoin. Not at all because of this. And let me know what you think about this. Not a financial advice. Use your due diligence. I could be wrong as well. And of course, in terms of the fear and greed index, let's see. You can see right now we are in extreme fear. I usually like to buy when people are in extreme fear. Of course, you can never buy at the very bottom, and you can never sell at the top. If you're a professional trader, you don't do that, right? You just scale in certain price point. Even when you sell, you scale in. You sell at different price point. You can never sell at the top, and you can never buy at the bottom. So I think a lot of retail investor, they make the mistake they want to buy at the very bottom and sell at the very top. This is not going to happen. So just don't fall in the mistakes of those traditional retail investor. Not a financial advice. Use your due diligence. Let me know what you think about the price of Bitcoin and gold as well. So when there's a fear, people usually don't buy, but I think need to be contrary. But also, you may probably catch the falling knife as well. You never know. So let me know what you think about this. The next stop, we're going to talk about the coronavirus, of course. And in terms of this map, I don't think it's accurate anymore. So in China, it's grossly underestimate the case, right? In terms of death, I don't think it's 5,008. Probably you're talking about at least 1 million already dead. The reason why I say that is because I think probably a few weeks ago, at least probably 4 to 6 weeks ago, and China said they have to manufacture 1 million body bag. So maybe they're bagging all this dead body and then cremate them. I don't know. But There's so much conspiracy. And if you follow my channel, you should not be going to the store right now, right? You should be well prepared ahead of time. I've been talking about this almost at least 6 weeks, right? That this is coming, right? But the majority of the people don't take it seriously until it is too late. You should not be fighting toilet paper. You shouldn't be doing all that because if you follow my channel, you already well prepared ahead of the herds. And I hope you listen to what I'm saying because a lot of people they don't take it seriously. I mean, it's not a good time to go to the store with so many crowded people in the store and all that. And because there's a lot of hidden spreader in the community, especially in the US. So it's better not to go in a crowded area anyway, right? So, but it is what it is because a lot of people, the herds don't listen, you know. But I hopefully you listen to my channel. You're probably well ahead of everybody, prepare everything already, at least 3 to 4 weeks advance already, right? So let's talk about why the outbreak is like the coronavirus will be spread exponentially and how to flatten the curve. So right now they keep on talking about flatten the curve, and of course the exponential nature of the virus I've been talking about probably at least 6 weeks ago. Maybe yeah, I don't know. I lose track. And right now, sometimes I cannot say something so straightforward because this thing is getting more political in terms of testing in the US. It's getting more political as well. So if in the future any sensitive or controversial matter, I'm going to put in my Patreon group. I'm not going to talk about it in YouTube because I may potentially got banned. So let's get back to this. So how to flatten the curve? So right now, I would say in the US, US is still at the very beginning of this coronavirus. Unfortunately, I don't want to scare everybody, and we are just at the very beginning. So this is a simulation about 200 people in a small town, right? People at a random, everyone at a random position and a random angle. All it takes is one person to spread the virus. That I have been emphasized in my channel for the last 6 weeks, okay? I've been emphasized all it takes is one person, it can spread like wildfires. But unfortunately, the people I talk to, they don't take it seriously. So this is a simulation. You can see one person started, right? And then without any intervention, eventually all 200 people got infected and hopefully all of them recover. But in reality, some of the people die depending on their immune system, right? And of course, the elderly is a vulnerable group, like 80 plus. And even a certain age group, like 40 to 60, also a high risk group as well. Of course, 60 to 70 is another high risk group. I think the other not high risk group is like 20 to 20s, 30s. Those are not high risk group. So you can see eventually everybody got infected. But here, this is very optimistic simulation. Everybody recover. But unfortunately, a lot of people die, end up in the ICU. So this is a simulation based on a small town in Whittier, Alaska. But in the US, you have 330 million people. And the curve, the bell-shaped curve could be very steepened. So you probably see people draw a line in here. You can see a line in here, basically draw a line across here. Basically, it's the healthcare capacity. If this bell-shaped curve above the line, that means you are above the healthcare facility, the capacity that the healthcare system can handle. This is exactly what happened in Italy, right? The healthcare system basically collapsing, and every day like they have like at least 20 to 30 people admitted to the admitted to the ED, and every diagnosis is the same: bilateral pneumonia, coughing, hypoxic, respiratory distress. Everything is the same, and then eventually overload the whole entire healthcare system. So right now they're talking about doing quarantine to flatten the yield curve. Quarantine does flatten the yield curve, and so this yield curve is, you can see, more flattened, right? If you draw a line on here about the healthcare facility or capabilities, then you are below the curve. That means the healthcare system can still handle. So let's see what happened in this forced quarantine. So forced quarantine, you slow down the spread of the virus. You're buying time. But at least you're buying time not to overload the healthcare system all at once, right? So this is much better. It is also better for the healthcare worker as well. And also, healthcare worker also have a learning curve as well, right? They start, I mean, in the US, you have no experience or zero experience in SaaS. Unlike in Asia, in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, they have tons and tons of experience in SaaS. So that's why they are more well prepared than in the US. And even though they have less resources than the US, people are more vigilant over there. Okay, their citizens are very vigilant because they have experience from the SaaS. They know how to handle even the hospital authority, the hospital, the attending, the nurses. Those are well experienced. They have a lot of people have been fighting SARS and they still in the still in the hospital, so they can pass on that knowledge to the rookies, right? To the newbies, to the new nurses, to the new doctors about how to handle these things, and they take it seriously. When the first coronavirus case come in, the attending observe, basically stand by, and along with the charge nurse stand by to observe the whole process, make sure nobody breached the protocol, make sure nobody got exposed. But in Europe, in US, I don't think they do that, right? They just, okay, we have a coronavirus patient come in, roll into the hospital, in the ED. And in the ED, I think in Hong Kong, they have a red zone and a green zone. So whoever suspected a coronavirus patient, they will go through the red zone. So right now, I think in the US, they don't classify red or green. I don't think in Europe as well. So that is highly potential cross contaminate with a coronavirus patient contaminate with healthy individuals with no virus. So I mean, I think they have to think about that, right? So this is like you can see they slow down the process, and yet still eventually the population will get infected. But then you buy some time for the healthcare system to learn about this virus. Everyone has a learning curve, especially if you have no experience in SARS. This is a better option. So quarantine, I agree with doing forced quarantine. I mean, that is necessary to slow down the process. And of course, there's a whole bunch of people saying that, hey, eventually, even though you do forced quarantine, it's impossible to completely seal off the sick population from the healthy. And yet, but hey, look at this curve. It's flattened the curve, right? It will not overload the health system so fast. But if you look at the above without nothing, you can overload your healthcare system really fast. You are not buying any time. At least now, if you do forced quarantine, you can buying some time. And another thing, there's another simulation about social distancing. So let's look at social distancing. So this is like social distancing. Like you can see, you stop public private gathering, no church, don't take the public transit, no eating out, no Uber, all this social distancing, and people are work from home. You can see the curve is really flattened, right? And it will slow down the spread of the virus. It will not overload the healthcare system. I mean, if you overload the healthcare system, even those people have a heart attack cannot get into the hospital because all this ED bed occupied by coronavirus patient, basically, right? So this is not good. Even people have heart attack, some other emergency matter, they cannot come to the hospital because overloaded with the suspected or confirmed coronavirus patient. And also, they can get cross-contaminate from those coronavirus patients as well, isn't it? So if you have quarantine as well as social distancing, no school, no church. I mean, I know it's tough. People want to go to church, people want to go to school, but the thing is, like, if you look at the big picture, you have to sacrifice for the short term. You have to sacrifice for the short term, and make sure. Hopefully, this thing will not spread like wildfires. I think we are in a critical times. Everything shut down, I think should be fine because you don't want to end up like Italy, right? You don't want to end up like in South Korea, right? But I don't know. But people still going to restaurants, still as if nothing has happened. I mean, in the U.S. right now, U.S. still in earlier days of this virus. This is just like 6 weeks ago, probably 6 weeks ago in China. It looks like in maybe 6 weeks ago when they just started. People still go on to do their business. There's still school, still going to eating out. And until recently, US start closing out school, but not all the county closing out schools. Some county they close school and some not. So, and in terms of social distancing, you can see the cinema is still open. People still go to church and all that. So I think everything should stop at this time. US is in a critical times right now. I don't want to scare everybody, but US still at the very beginning. If US do not want to end up like Europe, they have to implement all this shutdown. I don't want to scare people, but that's maybe I just leave it there. But I because if whenever I say something, I probably YouTube will ban me. So this is another thing. This is social distancing. Just one every 8 people move. Let's see what happens. So this is also slow down the process, like just minimum amount of people, not everybody locked down. So you can see the simulation, the slowdown of the spread of the virus as well, just minimum activity and all that. But right now, I think US is a little bit too late in the game in terms of social distancing. The spreader is already out in the community, and it's already in the community. So maybe when you go to the store, you probably need to wear a surgical mask, right? And maybe wear gloves as well, because you don't know, because this is mostly droplet transmission. Let's see. So this is mostly droplet transmission. So to protect yourself, if you are in the US, probably in California or state of Washington, or some other area that has a high number of cases, you probably want to wear a surgical mask as well as wear gloves when you go to do shopping, or when you go to a crowded area, when you have to go to work. I mean, try to work from home, okay? And I couldn't believe that some schools still open. I mean, really, seriously? At this time, you still don't close the school? I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, health is more important, right, than anything else, right? Without good health, how can you go to school? How can you go to make money, right? So let's talk about shift key a little bit. So they talk about the coronavirus take less toll on children. And this study is pretty small sample size, but this is mostly coming out of China. So they're saying that the children have less like symptoms than the adult, and they are they're more likely to be recovered. And the thing is, they are contagious as well, okay, with or without symptoms. If the kids get sick, and then they will transmit to the parents. The parents will bring it to work, infecting their co-workers as well. So this should not be taken lightly, even though they have less symptoms, but they are the potential spreader as well. And another thing is the virus can continue in the fecal matter, even though they tested positive. The test from coronavirus is only 30 to 50% accuracy. The test is basically swabbing your nose, your throat, and to get the results, right? The reason why there's so much false positive is because the coronavirus, some of the coronavirus are deep down inside the lung, in the alveolus, right? So those tests, the test kit is only testing your upper respiratory. For lower respiratory, unless you're in the ICU, they're not going to do a bronchoscopy to get the culture from the lung, right? Those are high risk procedure for SARS or coronavirus patients, because that can create aerosol, right? And so this is pretty serious, because people think that, hey, my kids are already symptom free, nothing, but then their fecal matter still shedding virus. So when the parents take care of the kid, they should be don't take the fecal matter lightly, or urine matter lightly. Those fecal matter have vapors. If you inhale it, the droplet, you may get it too. You don't know, right? So if you're parents, you have kids, fever, or usually low grade fever. The fever is like 100.4. Usually this type of coronavirus is a low-grade fever. It's not high fever. If they have coughing, stuff like that, and they have fecal matter, even though their tests are negative, doesn't mean that you should be You should be thinking that they have the kid is not shedding virus, and yet they're still shedding virus, even though the tests are negative in the fecal matter. So don't take it lightly. And a lot of times they don't have any symptoms, right? So that's why it can spread far and wide, because a lot of people are spreading the virus without themselves knowing it, right? I've been stressed enough. I've been stressed more in. I've been stressed very a lot of time in my previous video, right? And if you watch my video, you should know what I'm talking about. And of course, face masks. So a lot of controversial, like CDC saying don't wear face masks, but in Asian country, a lot of people wear face masks to protect themselves and protect others as well. Because if you're coughing, if you're sick, if you wear a face mask, you contain your virus inside, right? You don't spread to other people. And if people coughing to you, the droplets, if you're wearing a mask, the droplet will not go to your eyes or your nose or your mouth, right? So it's very controversial in the Western world, because they don't get used to this type of mask and all that, and a lot of people bashing on masks in the Western world. It's up to you what you want to do, and based on based on the, of course, in the US there will be a mask shortage. There already mask shortage or PPE shortage already, because a lot of PPE is come from China, and China want to, because they have a trade war and all that, they want to use this as a leverage to the US. But the thing is, this thing is like happened more than 8 weeks ago, right? US should be should be boost up their manufacturing facility, or convert the manufacturing facility to manufacture more masks or PPE, just like in Taiwan. They do that, and they shut down the border right away, and then they stop exporting masks, and then they beef up their manufacturer capacity in Taiwan. So everybody has sufficient masks to protect their own. The Taiwan government did a fantastic job in fighting this coronavirus. I think Hong Kong people also did a really good job as well. Hong Kong is not because of the Hong Kong government. Hong Kong government basically tell the citizen not to wear any mask, and Singapore government as well tell the citizen not to wear a mask unless you are sick. And look what happened in Singapore. Singapore got an outbreak, okay? And in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong protests, Hong Kong citizens do not trust the Hong Kong government. Everybody in the city wear a mask, and then they sanitize their hands like crazy. And because of this, they control the outbreak. At least they don't have so many cases in Europe or in the US, because everybody wear a mask to contain the virus. And yet in the US, there's some part of the state has high preference of Asian population, and everybody not wear a mask. I don't know. This is a controversial topic. I'm not going to talk about this. Probably I will talk about it in my Patreon. And let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good idea to wear a face mask, or it's not necessary? What do you think? Please comment below. I would love to hear from you. So this is they're saying why wearing a face mask is encouraged in Asia but shunned in the US. So this is interesting. But look at what happened. All these things happened in the US already happened in Asia 6 weeks ago. For example, fighting toilet paper, fighting rice. All this already happened in Asian countries 6 weeks ago. Already happened already. So in the US, in Europe, it's only 6 weeks or 6 to 7 weeks behind anyway. But let me know what you think about this. I would love to hear from you. And let's talk about another thing, the herd immunity. I will talk about that in my Patreon group about herd immunity. The UK basically give up the quarantine efforts, right? They basically using herd immunity. So there's several ways of herd immunity. One way is use mass vaccination, right? And then in the UK basically saying that, okay, we don't have vaccines right now, right? So basically let the herds get infected. So depending on your luck, either you have developed immunity or you end up in the hospital, and some people also end up in the ICU too. So let me know what you think about herd immunity, but this is pretty controversial. I'm not going to talk about that in YouTube. I will talk about that in detail in Patreon group. If you're interested, you can join my Patreon group. And because those are very controversial right now, I don't even want to get into that. And potentially I may get banned in YouTube as well. And look at this. Ooh, this is probably in Whole Food, right? even Whole Food got everything got empty. So just what I'm telling you. So if you watch my channel for the last 6 weeks, you probably already prepare. You don't have to fighting for this. Seriously, I mean, you already have all the toilet paper you want at your disposal. Okay, all your supply, toilet paper, alcohol swab, alcohol pads, tons of alcohol, bottles of alcohol, whatnot. You already should be prepared, well stocked in your house. Okay. I should anyway. I'm just a little bit fed up with everything right now, but I mean, seriously. So right now, I hope you guys listen to me because I'm well prepared. I have stocked up long time ago, so I hope you guys well prepared. I hope you listen to because a lot of people may not listen, but anyway, and you can see right now, US is at the very beginning of just at the very beginning, so we are not even here yet. Ooh. So I hope US implement more quarantine effort or social distancing, and I don't know. So otherwise, end up here. That would be pretty bad. In Hong Kong, you can see Hong Kong is here. Singapore is here. So the thing is, whatever works from other countries, we should we should take a look what they do. So this is what Hong Kong, everybody wear a mask, right? Everybody sanitize their hands. In Singapore, initially they have an outbreak, and now everybody wear a mask, right? And also people sanitize their hands, and also there's too complacency early on in Singapore. Singapore government basically tell everybody not to wear a mask until you are sick, unless you are sick, and then there's an outbreak, and then they freak out. Then now everybody wear a mask. So I don't know. And in the European country, in America, they don't like to wear a surgical mask. So I don't know. So let me know what you think about this. I would love to hear from you. And let's see. So let's look at this. So today, with Italy is so unfortunate. Italy, they are too complacent at the very beginning. The schools still open, people still have public and social gathering. You should avoid all the public and private gathering. No church, no school, nothing. No carpool, no nothing. Okay, you basically have the social distancing, right? No eating out. But Italy have been very late in the game to doing all this, and let's see what happened in Italy. They didn't shut the school very late. And I think in the US some of the school already shut down, but not all of them. And I hope they learn from the mistakes from Italy, because you don't want to be a total healthcare collapse in Italy. Basically, I mean, is a ground zero basically over there. And I don't know if you read something from Italy coming out, they will say 65 or above. In Italy, they're not going to save them. Not because they don't want to save them, but because they don't have enough hospital bed and they don't have enough ventilator. Ventilator is just like gold in Italy. And also they have to choose between like a 40-some years old with 2 kids. Should I save this guy or should I save a 30-some years old? I mean, this is really tough for a physician. I mean, how can you make such a decision? I mean, this is like ridiculous. Anyway. And of course, they talk about that, the 20-something is young and invincible, and yet, hey, they are the spreader. They got the potential spreader in the community. They can spread it to the elderly, spread it to your coworker. Your coworker probably 40s, 50s, 60s, and after they spread to them, they get sick, and those 50 or 60 end up in the hospital, potentially end up in the ICU. So the young people, come on, you got to be you're the potential carriers too. So you got to be careful what you do. I mean, seriously. I mean, people don't take it seriously, man. I mean, and look at this. This is totally unacceptable. Serious. This is in O'Hare Airport in Chicago. Look at what happened. I mean, people are scrambled because of the lockdown, because of the shutdown of the air travel. People are flooding back to the US. And they are stuck there for 2 to 4 hours. And you have so many people not wearing a mask, and people are talking, all this droplet. And this has caused contamination. I mean, potentially some people are carriers. They may be spreading to other people too. So this is not good. This is really, really bad, man. I mean, really, really bad. Seriously. So let me know what you think about all this. I would love to hear from you. I will leave it there right now. Let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think about face masks. Do you think you're going to wear a face mask? And what do you think about the direction of Bitcoin? Do you think we are going to have a potential pump on Bitcoin, or we are going to have a continued dump? Let me know what you think about this. I suspect there will be potential pump because of the already big sell off already, right? Isn't it? So and also the BTC USD long position has been pumping like crazy. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this. I would love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. That will help out my channel as well. Also, comment below. I would love to hear from you. And the comment also help my ranking in YouTube. Also, you can join my Patreon group. All the sensitive information or controversial topic will be in Patreon from now on. I cannot talk about that anything further because this is just censorship, I'm telling you. And yeah. So make sure you share with your friends and subscribe and push a like button and also comment as well. Help me on YouTube. Also join my Patreon group and also join library.tv as well. And you can also follow me on Twitter. Remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not a financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency or a commodity can have inherent risk. Please use your due diligence. I'm not your healthcare provider. Any advice on coronavirus or any about the epidemics? This is just for information and entertainment purposes. If you have any question or concern, you should consult with your physician.